Hey y'all, I wanted to get you guys some more messages in regards to their war against our country, okay? So essentially, it's not going out to the media that we're in a war. There's cover-up operations every day to make it look like, you know, these players are angry with one another or they're not on the same side. But in actuality, they all connect in to this warfare against our country and the world. You know, they're still trying to be the main players. So let me tell you who the main players are on the back end. It's George W. and his camp of freaking terrorists, Al-Qaeda, okay? And then he also has the private military contractors underneath him, and Lockheed Martin is all connected to Dick Cheney and the Russians. So they're all tied into that crew. We have Zuckerberg tied into Netanyahu, Israel. We have Kim K, who was tied into the Saudis, but also is tied back in through Manhattan elites and feds. And she is also tied into, horrible. She's like a destiny stealer, okay? She's tied into the Black Cube agendas in terms of just taking everything that is ours. She is like the deadliest, next to Zuckerberg. And then obviously we have Trump, who's connected to all of it. And the Hiltons are also in that group alongside of the Epstein crew and Bill Gates. I think that's pretty much all of them. I was trying to check in with Israel and where they're getting their money from, and it's coming from Egypt. So Egypt, I already knew, is connected to Swarovski. Now, Swarovski is the original KKK family. They're like the Nazis. They are the freaking Nazis. So they are also, if I remember correctly, Paris Hilton was a spokesperson for Swarovski crystals. And I think that's kind of when she kind of came out with her reality show and things like that. But I believe that that's the tie into Egypt is Swarovski from what I've gathered. And that ties back into NASA. Now, when I check in with NASA teams and how they're getting paid through the U.S. Treasury Department through Elon Musk. So Elon Musk is handling all of the salaries for NASA right now. And that is all part of their dark operations. When I check in with the teams in NASA, they're young freaking kids. They're young techies. And they're tied in to contracts through Cambridge Analytica, which is what was a big problem with harvesting data for the 2016 election. So it's the same people. And CERN. So CERN is one of those contractors who could be contracting out work. CERN is messing with our future timelines, destinies, things like that. I was trying to remember what else they were tied into because I found them by accident there was like a CERN team at NASA. And now CERN has worked directly with Elon on portals. So I think that's how they created the metaverse and all of their portals. That was with CERN. And I believe CERN ties back to Eric Prince and his partner with Blackwater, which is, I think his name is Al Clark or something like that. So I think that's how it ties back into CERN. So Al might have been doing work with NASA, and then CERN might have had a contract with NASA. I'm trying to figure out how they're doing the contracts to essentially like take everything from us and destroy us. This is how they're doing their sleeper cells. This is how they're doing everything. Also, the cloud tech, they worked on this for a long time, and I believe it was through the Saudis that were working on this cloud tech, or it's Dubai. It's one of those. When I checked in with the cloud tech, the skies are a mess where I am today. The clouds it's all freaking chemtrails, and they're able to do it now planeless with invisible tech, so you can't track who's going up. So when I'm checking with the cloud tech, it's all through what I was getting today is the old school airplane company, Pan Am. Now, Pan Am is notorious for a flight going down, I want to say in Alaska, that was connected to a Russian spy or something along those lines. Like they like shot the plane down. So that I think ties into the Alaska meeting and what that signifies. I feel like that signified HARP, which is how they're going to be messing with the magnetic field, which is essentially where our protections lie. That's how we would be able to sleep normally, is if the magnetic field was correct and aligned to us and Mother Earth. If it was aligned, we would be protected from their technologies. If they can mess with that field, which they have spent a lot of money doing, and also used Trump's nuclear ducts that he stole with Bill Barf to get that information, they can essentially mess with our magnetic field, which is also connected to the grid of the 5G network, and their electrical grid. Then they can mess with our protections and get us like off center, essentially. Like we become off center with Earth. So if they can mess with that, which is what they've successfully done, that's what HARP is connected to. So HARP is a project that I told you before was governed originally by Air Force. I think that might be why they're no longer recognized as a military branch, because I think HARP might be a big part of that. Okay, like they did stuff that is on a level that is so bad. I mean, it's a form of warfare. Like the branch committed war crimes against its own country, against its own people, to hurt us. It's that bad if a military branch is getting denounced. And yesterday the Navy was getting denounced. Now, from what I have seen on the back end when I'm clearing energies and stuck in the fucking military portals doing whatever, I have seen our military as full-blown Russian military right now. I see commanders as Russians. I see generals as Russians. I see our military as mostly Russian at this point in time. I know this is something that's been in the works for a really long time in terms of them infiltrating our ships and things like that. But yeah, that's how I see it. Now, the CIA is still getting information on the back end that there is no longer a working CIA, which is really sad. That our own CIA doesn't even know it's no longer a working CIA, and that it's Russian. They have a Russian command. They were told not once, not twice to stop operations, that they're not following the right commands. You know, this stuff is like new to them as of like 2 days ago. The feds, I mean, I think they know they've been pretty effed up for a long time from what I gather. But, you know, majority of their commands is to clean out their freaking desks. I mean, their crimes are really horrible at this point in time. They have worked against Americans. They have opened up illegal investigations to target Americans and work against them instead of protecting them. Like huge code of ethics problems, huge DOJ problems, huge. And then Congress, they're doing their batshit crazy sideshow still. They're still getting the freaking commands that Congress was adjourned indefinitely due to a fraudulent election, because we're in a declaration of war. I mean, we've been telling them this for how long? And, you know, just to kind of like piss me off, they'll send out an email today that's like vote.org to act like this election this year is going to freaking be a real election. It's not going to be. If the last elections weren't real elections, honey, like, what are you people smoking? Not even the Joe Biden election was an actual election. Okay? So just to fucking keep up with what the fuck is going on in our world right now, we were already, that was a CIA operation to protect our country. Okay? That operation. He didn't get into the White House illegally either. It was his role. By default, under the circumstances of a declaration of war, he would be the next in line. He would be the next commander-in-chief in line. So let's not all go batshit over the fucking Joe Biden election, okay? So right now, I guess there's a message around family, an emphasis on family, and trying to freaking get back to our roots, get back home, and get out from underneath this dark web of insanity. They have literally Star Wars going on, and it's been going on for a while. George W. and General Colin Powell have aliens that are really hurting our country and the world right now, that I was trying to clear some of those energies out. They have these aliens on lockdown. They have them on lockdown. They have alien teams designated to keep their aliens under their control. It's so sick. There are a lot of people that have their own aliens. They've been in their own alien war, like who can have the most aliens. And then this is essentially how they're superseding Earth laws and human laws. Aliens are from other planets, so you can't use them for this planet, because our planet is only allowed, within it to use certain levels of energies. And so when you take aliens from another planet and weaponize them against us, we're in a galactic war at that time. And that plays into the spiritual war. So all of that is a problem right now. I'm trying to freaking free the aliens. I'm trying to, it's a fucking mess. And I'm coming up against trash. I'm coming up against Zuckerberg and fucking the Kardashians and God and China and whoever else fucking has aliens. Like, it's like, get a fucking grip, guys. Like, you're on planet Earth. If you don't like it here, you are welcome to fucking leave at any point in time. We didn't ask you to fuck with the planet. We didn't ask you for these fucking technologies. We don't need them. We don't need any of you. And everything that you've created is a dark illusion, and we don't need you. And that's the fucking harshest reality for them, is that for them to know they worked this hard to realize we don't fucking need them or give a fuck about them. So that's where we're at right now. So I couldn't figure out how to get out from underneath the NASA belly about an hour ago, because they all started coming after me, which they can't. You're not allowed to go near any civilians, especially if they're unarmed, or, they're not doing anything. They're freaking helping humanity right now. Like, what's their case? What's their defense? What's NASA's defense? That they're getting paid in fucking crime money? Like, I don't understand. So they're still weaponizing the crime money. They're still weaponizing crime groups against people like me, getting us into trouble or getting us into situations we have no business being around. But they're intentionally endangering us and then acting like we're the problem. They're sending out false communications about who we are. They're stealing my rank. Zuckerberg is actively stealing my presidential rank to break into certain technologies or access. I'm like clearing all this stuff. Putin's doing the same thing to me, and so is Trump. They're using me for my presidential rank right now. That's how they're pulling all of this off. So if my country could just fucking protect me, they would all be gone. And then we could get our money back, and we could get the American people back their fucking money, because they're owed a lot of money. Havana syndrome victims are owed $1 million each. Okay? And, we are owed back our good karma that they freaking lab ratted us from. Our miracles, our blessings. We deserve to be free and not have a trap matrix of bio shit over our fucking heads. Huge issues with the Navy. They were supposed to govern the skies. Obviously, they were fucking up. And they were denounced yesterday, which means Trump is just going to fucking take over the Navy and act like it's his fucking crew with fucking Putin. So that's where we're at right now. A full-on shit show. So I don't know what the fuck my country's doing. I still can't get the communications out the way I need to. They keep cutting and breaking the chain of command. Zuckerberg and Kellyanne Conway are the ones that broke the chain of command. Zuckerberg's handling all of Trump's commanders and Putin's commanders. So he essentially broke into my command through my system, and now he's command. So that's how they're pulling off the National Guard and all this fucking bullshit. So it's all happening through Zuckerberg. They also broke into another system in DC they were not supposed to go near. There were warnings about them going near that freaking system, and nobody did anything about it. They let the fucking dipshits continue to break into the system. So Let me see if there'll be any changes in the near future. Let me see any changes. Is there going to be any positive changes in the near future? Are there going to be any positive changes? I have the Hermit reversed, which could be positive, with a Tower reversed. We really have to get back to some form of stability again, and we have to fucking, like, we have to address the elephant in the room, which is this shit show regime, okay? That freaking ripped through our fucking country and took no accountability for it and just spewed out fucking lie after lie after lie about who they were. So I have Devil reversed. We have to come out of a lot of that kind of stuff. These people are doing binding spells on us on the back end. They're doing things that violate our human sovereignty. They're engaging in warfare that is criminal. They are not allowed to work on you while you sleep. Those are war crimes, punishable by death. That is an actual war crime. That is something you can't do to anybody. You cannot work on people while they sleep ever. And it's something Trump and Putin have been doing for years now. And Trump is not innocent from this, okay? He sold us off to fucking Russia, okay? He sold us off happily to Russia. Happily. Got whatever he wanted in return. So there's issues with getting back the crown. So they infiltrated the royal family, this crew, and that's yet to come to the light in the way it should have. They infiltrated a lot of people, okay? They infiltrated a lot of people. These people are enemies of the state. They're enemies of the country. They're enemies of the world. Of the world. And every day they write a new script to pretend that these people are the fucking heroes and are getting Nobel Peace Prizes. It's delusional. It's fucking sickening. They're also the same ones deleting military records by the day and deleting our history. Because heaven forbid anyone knew how fucking sick they were or how evil they were. What would the world do? So I will leave you guys there. Would love to hear your feedback on this. And if this resonates in any way with you, I'm sending you guys lots of love and blessings. And I will talk to you all soon. Take care.